You're sitting on the couch, minding your own business, and you look up to see your German Shepherd staring at you. Not just looking, studying you. Do you ever get the feeling they know exactly what you're thinking? Well, it's not your imagination. German Shepherds are widely considered one of the most intelligent breeds on the planet. But their smartness goes way beyond just learning to sit or shake. They've evolved to be biological supercomputers that have spent thousands of years hacking human psychology. We call them land sharks when they're puppies because of those needle-sharp teeth and their drive to grab everything in sight. We call them Velcro dogs when they're adults because they refuse to let you go to the bathroom alone. But there is a third side to the German Shepherd that most people struggle to explain. It's that eerie, profound feeling that your dog is looking right through your skin and into your soul. In this video, we're going deep, a true deep dive into the incredible cognitive world of the German Shepherd. If you've ever felt like your GSD was one step ahead of you, or if they've ever comforted you before you even realized you were upset, you aren't imagining things. We're going to explore the science, the history, and the biological sixth sense that makes this breed so unique. We're going to talk about the smell of time, the physics of their hearing, and the biological reason they can read your face better than a human psychologist. To understand what they know, you first have to understand how they know it. A German Shepherd's brain is wired differently than a beagle's or a bulldog's. While most dogs were bred for one specific narrow task, like pointing at a bird or digging for a badger, the German Shepherd was created to be the ultimate utility dog. Captain Max von Stephanitz, the father of the breed, wanted a dog that was versatile, intelligent, and above all, deeply attuned to the movements and desires of their handler. This history of working alongside humans in high-stress environments, like police work, herding, and military service, has fine-tuned their ability to observe us. They don't just live with us, they study us as if their lives depend on it. But before we begin, we are Meme Dogs TV. Subscribe to our channel. Let's get into it. 1. They know your emotions before you do. Let's start with the most common experience GSD owners have, the sudden, unprompted comfort. You might put on a brave face for your family, you might keep your voice steady, and you might even tell yourself that you're doing fine, but you cannot lie to a German Shepherd. They are chemical detectives. Humans are primarily visual creatures. We see the world in colors and shapes. But dogs, and German Shepherds in particular, are chemical creatures. When you experience an emotion, whether it's deep sadness, soaring joy, or a spike of anger, your endocrine system goes to work. It releases hormones like cortisol and adrenaline when you're stressed, or oxytocin and dopamine when you're happy. These hormones aren't just internal, they change your body chemistry and your scent in ways so subtle that no human could ever detect them. To your German Shepherd, whose sense of smell is up to 100,000 times more sensitive than yours, those emotions are loud. They don't just see that you're sad, they smell the scent of sadness on your skin. Scientists have actually found that dogs can mirror their owner's stress levels. In a study on canine-human synchronization, researchers found that when an owner's cortisol levels rose over a long period, their dog's cortisol levels rose as well. But it's not just scent. They also hear the mechanics of your emotions. Have you ever noticed that your dog reacts when you simply think about something stressful? If you're sitting close to them and your heart rate spikes because you're anxious about a meeting or a phone call, your dog picks up on that change in rhythm. They can hear your heart beating from several feet away. When that rhythm changes, they know the vibe has shifted. This is why a GSD will suddenly become your shadow during a tough week. They aren't just being clingy, they are reacting to the chemical and auditory alarm bells your body is sending out. They know you're hurting before you've even shed a single tear. 2. The smell of time and your routine. Have you ever noticed your German Shepherd heading to the front door exactly 5 minutes before you grab your keys? Or perhaps they start getting restless for dinner at 5:55 p.m., even though you haven't looked at the clock. They don't have a watch, but they have something much more sophisticated. They can smell the time of day. This is a concept often called scent decay. Think about your home as a container of smells. When you leave the house in the morning, your personal scent is at its strongest. It's fresh on the couch, in the air, and on the carpets. As the hours pass and you're away at work, that scent slowly begins to dissipate and decay. Over months and years of living with you, your German Shepherd has learned to associate the specific strength of your lingering scent with the time of your return. They have learned that when your scent has faded to a very specific level of weakness, that is the exact moment the garage door usually opens. They aren't just waiting for you, they are measuring the concentration of your molecules in the air to track the passage of time. Beyond scent, German Shepherds are type A personalities of the dog world. They are obsessed with patterns and associative learning. They have a mental map of your entire daily sequence. They know that the specific clink of your coffee maker means 15 minutes of kitchen activity is about to happen. They know that when you put on your work shoes, which have a different scent and sound than your gym sneakers, you are going away for a long time. They also watch for micro-transitions. You might think you're just sitting on the couch, but when you decide it's time to go for a walk, you likely perform a series of tiny movements you aren't even aware of. You might lean forward, shift your weight, or take a deeper breath. Your GSD sees these pre-movements and reacts before you even stand up. They aren't psychic. They are the world's most dedicated students of your habits. 3. They can smell changes in your body. This is where the German Shepherd's abilities move from impressive to borderline supernatural. While it's one thing to smell stress, it's another thing entirely to smell a biological shift in health. A German Shepherd's nose is powerful enough to detect a single drop of a substance in the equivalent of 2 Olympic-sized swimming pools. This level of sensitivity allows them to detect volatile organic compounds, or VOCs, that our bodies emit when our internal chemistry shifts due to illness. In the medical world, German Shepherds are frequently used as medical alert dogs because of this. For instance, they can detect a drop in blood sugar for a diabetic owner. They don't do this by checking a monitor. They smell the metallic or acetone scent that a human body produces when blood sugar levels fluctuate. They can often sense this change 15 to 20 minutes before a blood glucose meter can even register it. There are also countless documented cases of German Shepherds sensing seizures before they happen. They pick up on the chemical shift in the brain's electricity and the change in the owner's breath. They will often bark, nudge, or even pin their owner to the ground to prevent them from falling during the impending episode. Perhaps most incredible is their ability to detect certain types of cancer. Because cancerous cells produce different metabolic waste than healthy cells, those waste products eventually make it into our breath and sweat. There are stories of GSDs obsessively sniffing or even nipping at a specific mole or a specific spot on their owner's chest that later turned out to be a tumor. If your German Shepherd suddenly changes their behavior toward a specific part of your body, if they won't stop resting their head on your stomach or sniffing your breath with a worried expression, don't ignore it. They are biological scanners, and they might be trying to save your life. 4. They know when you're lying or nervous. You might be able to fool your boss, your friends, or your spouse, but you will never have a poker face that works on a German Shepherd. This is because they look for congruence. Congruence is when your voice, your body language, and your scent all tell the same story. When humans lie or try to hide an emotion like nervousness, our bodies betray us in tiny ways called micro-expressions. These are involuntary muscle twitches in the face that last only a fraction of a second. While other humans are usually too busy talking or looking at their phones to notice, your GSD is a professional observer. They spend about 80% of their waking hours just watching you. They know your baseline behavior so perfectly that any deviation looks like a giant red flag. If you are trying to act calm while you're actually feeling guilty, maybe you're hiding the fact that you're about to go on vacation without them, your body is likely tense, your pupils are dilated, and your breathing is slightly more shallow. To a GSD, this incongruence makes them uneasy. They might tilt their head, stare at you intensely, or pace around the room. They feel the itch of the lie. This is also why German Shepherds are so sensitive to nervous energy. If you are walking your dog and you see someone who makes you slightly uncomfortable, you might tighten your grip on the leash just a fraction of an inch. You might hold your breath for a second. Even if you don't say a word, your dog has already received the signal that this person is a threat. They aren't just reacting to the stranger, they are reacting to the fact that you are no longer congruent with your normal, relaxed self. 5. They understand more words than you think. Most people think of dog training in terms of commands: sit, stay, heel. But for a German Shepherd, language is much broader than a list of instructions. Research into canine linguistics suggests that the average intelligent dog can learn the meaning of over 165 words, but high performers like German Shepherds can often exceed 250. However, it's not just the quantity of words, it's the understanding of context and inference. There is a cognitive ability called fast mapping that was once thought to be unique to human children. It's the ability to learn the name of a new object through the process of elimination. If you put out 3 familiar toys and 1 brand new toy and tell your GSD to go get the widget, they will look at the toys they already know, realize none of them are widgets, and conclude that the new object must be the one you're talking about. They also process language using both hemispheres of their brain, just like we do. They use the left hemisphere to interpret the actual meaning of the word, and the right hemisphere to analyze the intonation and emotional weight behind it. This is why you can't just say vet in a happy voice to fool them. They are analyzing the what and the how simultaneously. Furthermore, they learn your conversational vocabulary. If you often tell your partner, "I'm going to head to the store," your dog eventually learns that the word store means you are leaving. They learn that dinner doesn't just mean their food, but perhaps the time of day when the family gathers. They're essentially eavesdropping on your life, building a dictionary of your most common phrases so they can better predict what is going to happen next. 6. They sense danger around you. The final and perhaps most famous trait of the German Shepherd is their danger sense. This is a combination of every sense we've discussed so far, dialed up to a level that feels like instinct. First, consider their hearing. A human's hearing range ends at about 20,000 hertz. A German Shepherd's hearing range goes up to 45,000 hertz. They can hear the ultrasonic sounds of electronics, the movement of small animals in the walls, and the footfalls of a person 2 blocks away. But more importantly, they can hear the quality of a sound. They can distinguish between the sound of your car's engine and the sound of your neighbor's car from a quarter-mile away. When it comes to people, they are experts at reading predatory gait. Humans who have bad intentions often move differently. Their muscles are tense, their gaze is fixated, and their heart rate is elevated. Because your GSD is constantly scanning for congruence, they can tell when a stranger's outward behavior doesn't match a friendly profile. This is why you should always trust your German Shepherd's judgment of a person or a situation. If your dog, who is usually friendly, suddenly becomes alert, positions themselves between you and a stranger, or refuses to walk down a certain street, they are picking up on data that your human brain has evolved to ignore. Their sixth sense is actually just their 5 superhuman senses working in perfect harmony to ensure your survival. They are hardwired to protect the pack, and that protection starts with knowing exactly what is happening in the environment long before you do. Having a German Shepherd is like having a bodyguard, a psychiatrist, and a best friend all wrapped into one furry package. They know your secrets, they know your health, they know your routine, and they definitely know where you hid the treats. But that bond is what makes them the most loyal breed on Earth. The fact that they know us so deeply is exactly why they are so protective of us. But this knowing is a two-way street. Because they are so attuned to our stress, our lies, and our emotions, it is our responsibility as owners to provide them with a calm and stable environment. If we are constantly anxious, they will be too. If we are inconsistent with our routines, they will feel the stress of that chaos. So the next time your German Shepherd stares at you like they know something, they probably do. They are watching, they are listening, and they are smelling the very essence of who you are. If you own one of these incredible animals, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Comment GSD below and tell us the weirdest thing your dog has ever sensed about you or your environment. Did they alert you to a stranger? Did they comfort you before you started crying? We want to hear your stories. Don't forget to like this video if you learned something new about your best friend, and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the world of dogs. Give your German Shepherd an extra ear scratch from us today. They've certainly earned it by keeping such a close eye on you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Also, if you want to find out about 10 most fearless dog breeds in the world, click the video on the screen right now to enjoy the video. Thanks for watching, and give your dog an extra pat for me. They've earned it.